Hari Om to all the divine Atmajyotis. So we are contemplating on the beginning prayers that we usually chant before we begin our Gita Satsang. So the first question that all of us can share our view on is, what is a prayer? According to you, what is a prayer?
And who has joined?
I think that may be Anjuji, I'm assuming. The audio is not yet on.
Okay. Okay. Krishna ji, Isha ji, one of you want to start?
Yeah. So, prayer, according to me, had two definitions before the spirituality and after this.
Ah, okay.
Can I tell two both the things?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Before it was like it's like a request to the God. So what I need,
Okay.
and in we convey through multiple prayers. That's what I looked at. But after this understanding of truth, it is like enabling us and making in a proper state through which we can manifest what we need and understand our true self through these mantras. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So
what.
you said after understanding the truth, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so what? Can you briefly explain?
So the truth is what I believe is, so it's a consciousness us, which is the mm, yeah, the consciousness I can put in, or pure consciousness, and we see the we make the world we want.
Hmm.
So now it's like we need something, and we realize what it is, and we just manifest.
Mhm. And what is that you need?
Actually,
Uh,
before
Not going into the specifics in the sense, can you see any commonality in all that you need? Maybe you may have, I'm sure, the multiple needs. Do you see anything common in that?
so yeah, so the common thing is like whatever we desire for is the happiness.
Happiness, okay?
Yeah, happiness is that whatever we do, like materialistic, like having some luxury house or whatever, so and so.
Mhm.
But it's our inner stimulants. I mean, are the chemicals play with the brain and makes us happy.
Mm.
So it's like by life itself, it's not those whatever we desire for is all we created. It's all generated, but the truth, but actually it's all gathered one, but not actually me, who ourselves. And there is equal up, there are equal, and how would I put it, mm, based on the role they play in this world, so they
Mhm.
have own karmic things, so they play the role, but we have to be distinct who we are and what is the role we are playing here.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how I see that.
Okay. So through prayer, you are basically you want to get those needs.
Actually now, no.
Okay,
Now
then
I
what
don't think
is the purpose now?
That's what now my purpose is, like, find what is that I'm what is the role for me, actually true role is.
Okay.
That's
You
where I
want to
look at.
know the purpose.
Correct. What is the purpose of this body, and why I'm doing this, all those things.
Okay.
So I see all including trees and every living thing, right? Uh, it's like a part of a light, right?
Hmm.
So it's like that.
Hmm.
Truly, I don't know what I need, but I
Hmm.
don't have any desire as such.
Hmm.
But in professionally, like, I do whatever is assigned and what is best, I'm doing that.
Hmm.
That's it, professional life. Personally, also, I don't have nothing like as such.
Okay.
If yeah,
Okay. And
and
mhm.
only desire is through prayer is purpose.
Purpose, which is
Yeah.
basically you are seeking the knowledge of.
Mhm. Why
What?
this karmic substance are coming?
Okay.
What is the, like, kind of iceberg it has, right? So
Perfect. Perfect.
why it has to be done? Why? That's all. Question is why,
Mm-hmm.
and where I am in that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it what is the progress if you put in 0 to 100? Is it in which progress state exactly it
Mm.
is? What is that have to be done for this living?
Okay. So this is what you are seeking. Now coming to prayer, you are
Prayer is, yeah.
so your
Prayer is
brain. Mhm.
something, it's the brain, right? So during this, even now, or right, so it is reduced, but still brain is not into a sync. It keeps on moving, like somewhere, like, it's not fully practical connecting to the consciousness.
Mm.
Somewhere it disturbs, and it has that impressions on everything.
Mm.
Like, if I see some person or some environment situation, there are many things applied to it through
Mm.
this prayers, right? So the calmness comes in, and through the practices, the brain pattern is changing.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a difference I feel in the prayers.
So one interesting thing to note is you didn't say I am changing. You didn't. You said it. Okay, right there, you are seeing that there is something which is getting the knowledge, but that thing is not consistently staying there.
Mhm.
Did you note? Did you observe the language you used, which is very nice? I think that's the whole purpose. That's how our contemplation is going. Right. So you said that brain has got this knowledge, but it is not staying there. But one correction, which is
Mhm.
the brain is the center of knowledge, right? So right
Mhm.
now, after these sessions, you are
Mhm.
saying that you are finding the truth, okay? And but just to uh, go technically in our spiritual domain, it is the mind that
Mhm.
is playing the whole thing, which is supposed to play as per the knowledge that you have acquired. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So brain is the center of knowledge. You are getting this knowledge now. All your whatever activities you are doing, right there, it's the mind that is driving, right?
Mhm.
So that is what you are now trying to figure out, why the acquired knowledge is not staying there all throughout. Okay, good, good, good. So now coming back to the prayer again. So through
Mhm.
prayer, one, you are seeking the knowledge of what is the purpose of this life, who am I? And the second thing is, let's say I get the knowledge. What do we do? One needs to apply and stay with that knowledge,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So uh, there you need to strengthen. Each one of us has to strengthen and like stay in that path with that new knowledge. Okay, that is another reason why we are going for the prayer, right? But like very nice intent, and like the evolution from like before getting into the study circle, and now how it is evolving. Right? Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Sharan.
you. Yeah. Hari Om, Deepa ji and Padma ji.
Hari Om, Saravanandi. Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om.
So we are as we were waiting, we just like decided to contemplate on like why are we praying? What is this prayer about? Okay, before we start, Isha ji, would you like to share?
So I have to say, see, like, normally how our families work, the normal family in India, like we worship God, we worship deities, we worship everything, sun, moon, nature, everything.
Mhm.
So, I started off, I think, I don't remember, but from the time, say I was like 6 or 7. So from then, my association with worship or saying the shlokas, it was not this Bhagavad Gita shlok. It was different. Whatever my dad, I couldn't read. So whatever he recites and what we mug up, no, hearing.
Yes.
Those only I used to say. No, I don't know the meaning of any of those. But yeah, then what we did is every time, going to temple. That's what I did for almost like still I completed my 10th, I guess. So yeah, so almost like, about 10 years or 8 years, this was my everyday procedure of going. So whether I'm low, high, if I want to go or not, I have to go, kind of compulsion also was there.
Mhm.
So before my dad used to work, he used to go to temple as a child. Wherever he goes, I followed him. After that, it became compulsion. If I don't go, he will yell at me. So better go.
Mm.
So it became like that. And then after which, I didn't leave going, but it was not like on a everyday basis. After post which it started becoming like 2 days worship, Tuesdays and Fridays. That's how my association with prayers or this was. It was just going and reciting things so that and
Following the custom.
yeah, follow the
Okay.
customs and come. That's a good for a pretty long time. So for a pretty long time, I think I almost till I got married, or
Yes.
till I became very busy with my work, where work was extending late night, and also I couldn't come back and go like that till then. But yeah, again following customs, going to temples at least yearly once. This temple kind of things. So then after that, it was a very long break. So almost like long break in the sense it's not that I don't go. It's a long break in the sense that I don't know, too many things happening. Not that I didn't believe in anything or not, but yeah, to have an harmony at home, not much was done by my side. Yes, we did follow the same rituals of celebrating all the festival, going to temples and coming and all this. So still there was no meaning, and I have this huge guilt feeling when it comes to me as a mom, that I didn't teach my son anything. Okay, nothing. So I only took the worst is I took only the bad part of so many things of my growing up, and I didn't want to give anything to my son. So I said, if you want to go to temple, you go. If you want to pray, you pray. There's nothing like that. We are Sanatans, right? So if you don't pray, will remain a Hindu. The secular head of mine was very dominating. So
Agree.
for larger part, I don't know any shlokas, to be frank. Very few, that the basic 4-5 Sanskrit shlokas. After that, it was all either if I go to Om Shakti temple, I know what they say. If I go to Swami temple, I know what they say. Like that, I know. Means not the common ones like shlokas. So for a long period of time, now he's 13 years, after 10 years when he turned, I was like thinking, no, see, first we have to do, there should be some meaning. When he is asking me so many things, he'll ask me, I don't have an answer to that. I was like, I can't keep saying you're a Hindu, you're a Hindu, Hindu. Why will they follow?
Correct, correct.
There is a way, and I used to have a Bhagavad Gita at home, and when I was pregnant also, I tried reading. See, when nobody says how to read, no, it first 2 pages only it went above my head. I didn't even know in between there was shloka. That's why I couldn't read that English. I didn't even know that. So yeah, I kept it closed, and then after a long time, it's something which he directed, no, because I was putting him in so many classes, and accidentally it was that we had rented out our house in Belendur. So when we wanted to rent it out, the ones who took it were people of ISKCON. So
Nice.
these people came and took our house. This was just before COVID, like 20 days before COVID. So these guys, when they took the house, that's when, we had this group, right? We'll have this WhatsApp group with our they were posting. Then I was asking him, where do you get Bhagavad Gita course? Where do you get this? So they used to suggest me lots of course for young children, which they use. And thankfully, COVID is not thankful. Thankfully, online started. So I need not him anywhere, because after we rented out, we shifted to very, very far part of Bangalore just because we stayed close to the school. So then he started with all these classes and all. And with my son, anything he does, I should also do. He thinks, we are siblings, okay? He goes to play tennis, he'll take me and go. If whatever he does, you're like, you're not doing, no, you're not doing. No? So I also started taking. So that's when, that's when, that real meaning of shlokas, I want to understand what does it mean, not
Very
just,
good. Very nice.
Start reciting. So I'll tell him, I actually printed out certain shlokas. I used to make him write every day one small shlokas, 4 lines. So after him write, I used to even his teacher is teaching him. So from, as I said last class, from singing he went to shloka class, no? So she is teaching him this big shlokas. Sanskrit itself, the big one. She actually tells them the story behind that shloka as well. Then he learns that 4. Then I'll tell him, this is what you have to do before you eat, because you respect the food, and then you sit there in front of food for some time, and then turn on your digestive organs should start working before you start eating. So something like this, small things. And why should you pray to sun god? Because you need that morning sun to fall on you. So what does that prayer says? There is nothing wrong. They're not saying anything wrong about anybody or anything. They're just worshipping the nature, all around you, the nature and your intelligence. You should work hard. You should follow the right path. That's what all the prayers actually are telling you. So that's how, it's like, it's almost like one second innings.
So I would say before that, it was you were following the custom. There was no particular reason for the prayer.
No particular reason. See, so what will you need as a child, sir? You'll write one exam so stupidly, and you will sit and pray that I wish I pass, I pass, and I fail only. But still,
I get that. So this goes to what Krishna ji said. The common factor was that happiness. It was like you wanted to be happy through whatever you were doing. So there was this God somewhere, and the powerful one, and here we are, the powerless one, and praying that God for everything.
Everything. So I studied in one proper convent school where they used to keep saying, you have to do 99%. Jesus will come and help you 1%. So I used to say, why 1% I will live? I will only do that also. I can only do 1%. I don't want like that. I want 3 things.
Okay. So now that since you started this study circle and whatever prayers we are reciting, and I don't know if you noticed, we have few prayers that we are reciting before starting the session, and then there are few prayers we are reciting at the end. Have you thought about them? why certain prayers, what is that we are seeking with those prayers, since we also read the meaning.
Yeah, that's short prayers which I have written few, sir, not everything. Yes, I did go through that Dhyana shlokas, but before that, yeah, starting and ending prayer, few starting prayers I have written also for him, not all. So which I could understand, which I could understand in a way that I can tell him.
No, I'm talking about the prayers that we are.
Yeah,
Right,
right,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we have.
We have the meaning also there, right? So,
So,
are you
yeah.
able to connect with them?
Yes, sir. I feel starting of the prayer not much. I don't know how to say. Yeah, the connection is like starting. You will ask. Usually when you start anything, you need that concentration. You need that willpower to keep going. You to be that you cannot go with the thought that what it's going to fail. Right, you have to go with a positive attitude towards anything, even when it comes to cooking. If you keep thinking it won't be tasty, it will not be tasty. So so whatever we do, it sets a tone, and to start off the work in a nice way.
Perfect.
You do let it,
Yeah.
let it help you, and let it help anybody who's associated around you also. So mostly, the ending prayer for me is not only to say, to make me feel that, yes, I have done something really nice. It is also to, it's not a full stop, it's a comma for your next day kind. So it's like to know what I've done good for today, but tomorrow also I have to have the same energy to continue.
Okay.
So yeah.
Good. Actually, you had a very good explanation from another angle, from what Krishnaji said, and the big one is, you got it, which is before you start, like you want to concentrate, you want that willpower, you want to keep it going in a positive way, right? Um, it reminds me, like as we had holiday for Ganesha, this one colleague of mine from UK, and he said, like, he wished saying, "Hey, happy Ganesh Chaturthi," and did I get it right? I said yes. And then the next question was like, so what is it about? Right now, okay. I was like, I know that there are other people in my teams there, and I have to answer him. And, right, so now, like at that time, I did not go in that path, but like I can see what answer came out, how it came out, because always Guruji keeps talking about like every festival, every you can see it in three planes: Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, and Adhyatmika. Right, the Bhautika being at the transactional plane, we are all here, right? What is it about what we do? And Devika is at the divine level, and Adhyatmika is at the seekers level, where we can explain. So I had to give him this answer that, you know what, like to start anything, this is the God, this is the divine one, like we pray to, so that like we ensure everything goes fine. And like I gave him example that for me, any software release, any project, like we start with this God, and he said, yeah, very. I think like then this God should be very powerful. We all need to pray. Okay. And like he knows that as humans, it is we have to go beyond the human plane for anything to succeed. Otherwise, the kind of obstructions that we go through, so much like humanly, if I look back, like it's not possible at all to build anything as humans. And like look at this, running this country, and with countless infinite things running around, humanly it's not possible at all, right? So that's how I was talking about Ganesha, and like you said that, right? I just remembered, and it connects to this first slide as well, Om. where like it has like much deeper explanation beyond this the sound that we make, right? So what we say is the omkara can be split into like akara, ukara, and makara. Okay, it comes like this, and each one, the akara, like it charges the lower part of the body, okay, and the ukara being the mid part, and the makara being the top. And the idea is the whole body needs to be charged, fully charged, and to do anything, and it needs to be in a balanced way. Okay, and also the lower part of the body is what, like we say that like the center of action is related to the actions, right? And the middle part being the thoughts, and the top being the knowledge. And the way we see it is like anything before we get into action, the action needs to be a right action, and a right action comes from right thinking, because thinking drives the action, and the right thought comes from knowledge, right? The knowledge needs to be right. Like simply put, before giving this explanation, or before someone knowing about pizza, okay, like going by the advertisement, you know what, you see it, and all that thing going on advertisement, and you want to eat it, right? And like here it is about that knowledge.
Yeah.
That you did not have it. It just from the advertisement, you felt like it is tasty, and then like the thought, like I want to have it, and then like action is like you had it. And this before the right knowledge. And we have seen that after the right knowledge, where people say that this maida is not good for health, this that, then the knowledge is corrected. Then even if they show that, the thought says, you know what, it's not good for me, I'm not going to eat it, and the action, you don't eat it, right? So how nicely that like they have made this like one omkara, which you can use for anything like this, that like the knowledge, the thought, and the action needs to be all right to for you to do right. It cannot be like if one of them is wrong, it's gone. You are not going to be you are not, and anything when it goes wrong, that's what like finally causes disturbance in us, right? So your explanation goes very close to the omkara that we do here, right? And omkara meditation, Vijayji used to have before, where like we do this for a while, so that like it's like the way I feel is like it's tuning the body, so that once it is tuned well, it is in a state to receive the knowledge well. Right? And same way, like once it's tuned well, it's able to act well as well. Like how we go and like tune the musical instrument so that it makes the right sound, right? If it's not tuned well, you see that all those musicians, they first go and like keep on tuning it, right? Keep adjusting it until they get the right sound, right? So yeah, thank you. Actually, you had a lot of, you shared good points. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And Deepaji, would you like to share? So Deepaji, so what we are doing is we are contemplating on the prayers. What does it mean to you? Like what do you do? What is that? What is your mindset when you pray, when you recite the prayers?
Yeah, Saravananji. I think I started praying when I was a child. I mean, maybe about 5 or 6 years old, and since then I have been praying, and most of the wishes have they have come true, and I was God fearing at that time, but now I have come to know that it's all due to our prarabdha that we suffer. Don't have to fear God, and but at the same time, I don't know, or I can't say that I'm God loving as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do prayers, and then I chant Vishnu Sahasranama, Hanuman Chalisa, then Mahalakshmi Ashtakam. All those on a daily basis. I go to temple on a daily basis,
Nice.
but I don't know if it is the love for God, or I want myself to be peaceful, and I believe in all these things. That's the reason I do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it is the devotion uh, or the love for God. Just going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just wishing first thing in the morning that the day should go well today, and it's been like this. I mean, for about a year or so, the day is going on well. Only wish for that particular day.
Okay. Yeah.
Not thinking much about the future.
Mm-hmm. So there is no okay. So the intent is for the day to go good.
Yeah.
Okay. And in some ways, I'm able to relate this to what we read in the Ramana Maharishi's verses, where he said, recite, okay, to start with, recite louder the slokas, and better than loud recitation is the japa, and even better than that is meditation, where like you are completely silent and contemplating on the truth. And in some ways, the way I relate is like it's kind of fence to keep the mind in the path, because otherwise there are infinite paths, right? The mind just goes in all directions depending on like which one is seeking attention. If a TV is running some advertisements or news in the TV, or these days, even if you switch off TV, WhatsApp forwards, or like someone calling and giving some news or discussions, right? So and at least I've seen that like everything that goes in the mind, it goes in all those directions, right? That way, right?
Yes, Saranji.
Yeah, so that way, like these recitation and japa are like, they are like, I've seen like as a fence, at least until like the one is established in the truth, right? You basically need to protect, like how we see the saplings, they put the fence until it grows, right? So definitely it helps. Yeah. And I don't know, yeah, have you do you go into the meanings more, or like you stay with the
No,
reciting?
no, I have not gone through the meanings.
Okay.
Just reciting them.
Reciting them. Yeah. And how about the prayers we are doing here? You have seen that we
Yeah,
have.
yeah, they are with the meanings. We can understand them, Sarananji.
Okay.
But these japas that I do, I don't go for the meanings. Not gone through the meanings.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I want to add like so the way I see these prayers, it's like if you take this, right? So you like basically Guru Vandana, like before one can hear from someone, right, as a teacher, uh, the only way one will get the most is like by having the utmost respect for the teacher, right?
Yeah.
And this is how I see that the Guru Vandanas are basically, you know what, I pray, I bow down, not to all those gurus, and coming down till the guru that I'm listening to in this session, right? And right, so it is without that what we call Shraddha, right? In two things. One is Guru, and the other one is the text, right? Which is in our case Bhagavad Gita, right? If we we need to have that respect and full faith on these, only then we are able to get the most out of what we are learning. Otherwise it's going to be even a small doubt, it's going to be even when you want to use it, that doubt will come right there, and then you will turn to the next one and say can you please confirm? Right? So let's say we have this knowledge, but how do I use that knowledge? I need to have that 100% faith, and so that I can use that knowledge when it is needed, right? It shouldn't be that when the time comes, I go to another 10 people and say what should I do? Right there means I did not get the knowledge fully. And if I go back, it is about how much am I able to follow the Guru in terms of what he is saying and the text, what the text is saying, right? So that's how I see that we are praying to the Guru and the text repeatedly, so that
Any situations that come and you're facing problems in it, I would look for Bhagavad Gita and think what has Krishna suggested in such a situation and what needs to be done, Saravananji. And according to that, I'll try to follow what is being said in it.
Perfect. That's the intent. Yes. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Padmaji, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to add?
Yeah. So, so like everyone said, we all have multiple reasons why we pray at different stages of our life, requesting for this and that. Whatever problems we have, we ask for solutions and pray. But I think after I have come into this path, what I have understood from all these prayers, whether it is the prayers that we chant at the beginning of class or at the end of the class. So the first thing is, as far as I'm concerned, is how I see it, how I connect with it is, first is the gratitude that we are here at this moment and in this path, and this opportunity has been given to us to learn and acquire this knowledge. Second is, whatever text is there, whatever text we are learning, not necessarily text, but we learn through multiple ways in life. It is just that we don't see everything as a lesson. That knowledge also has to come within us. So whenever we want to learn something from someone, there should be a bhava of surrender and acceptance that whatever text or whatever the Guru says, it is higher than whatever I know. If the attitude of I know everything has to first go. So with that bhava that I don't know anything, so I am at your feet and I surrender myself and I accept whatever you are going to give me, then only I think we are ready for even receiving any kind of knowledge, whether it is from a guru or whether it is from a text. Say in this case, our Bhagavad Gita. So the picture of Bhagavad Gita itself, where we see Krishna standing and Arjuna at his feet with all his weapons are on the ground. That is the I think the main crux of how a disciple should be towards his guru. The guru can be a text, a guru can be a plant, a leaf, an animal, various forms through which we learn. And in all this, that bhava of surrender and acceptance is the most important one. That is one thing. Second is, when we start any thing with a prayer, we set an intention. We set an intention that I want to acquire the knowledge from this. So when the intention is right, the action that is driven, the thought that flows into it is all in the right direction. So that is the second thing. Third is, I think there is one vibration that is inside, moving inside us, or arising inside us whenever we chant any mantras. And probably that's why, there is always, the teachers who teach us these mantras insist on the correct pronunciation. That is because each letter that we utter has certain kind of vibration, has certain effect on certain parts of your body or mind. So that is also the second aspect. And these vibrations are healing at multiple levels, not only physical, but at mental level, emotional level, spiritual level. These are bringing certain minute transformations within us, which we may not even notice initially. They are very subtle. So these are the things that I look at when we pray or chant any shloka. Now, for example, you mentioned that we did the Omkara chanting. Sir made us do it. I think one of the days we can again do it in this class, and we can actually see how you had explained about the Omkara, that the Akara is something that is for the lower part of the body, Ukara for the middle, and the Makara for the upper parts of your body. But when you chant it, say 21 times, or the effect inside, one can feel it. It is not just you are saying and we have to accept it. It is something one can experience by chanting those mantras. Similarly, I have experienced myself when I chant Vishnu Sahasranama, that certain mantras, especially the Mahapranas, when we attire, like the Bha and the Gha, there is one very strong vibration that comes from your heart. It directly connects to your heart, I feel. So this is also a way of communication, I feel, between us and the energies, higher energies, I feel. So by increasing or by raising your vibrations, you are also raising your positivity. All the good things within you get enhanced, is my thought. Yeah, thank you, Saranand. That's all.
Thank you, Padmaji. A lot of good info. And yeah, so I've been adding to everyone. Vijayji, would you like to conclude on this so that we can move to the next section?
Yeah, would like to share a few more pieces of information. So I'll. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So really nice way, each one of you expressed. So the signs of prayer, or the signs of especially mantras, is like how Padmaji was saying, is a far deeper. So first of all, the word mantra. So now there are different kinds of things that we say, and we hear words such as shloka, japa, mantra, verse, right? Each has a very distinct meaning. First and foremost, when you look at the initial set of shlokas that we say, whether it is the Omkara, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or Guru Brahma, or Gurur Murtihi, then last but not the least, Gayatri Mantra. Each one, when you look at the meaning, there is no give me that, give me this kind of a meaning. Each one is nothing but representation of the ultimate truth of life. Each of the shloka there, or each of the verse, each of the mantra, it's probably better to call each one of them as a mantra. Each of them is a representation of an aspect of the reality. It is very much like a science equation. When you say E is equal to mc square, now E is equal to mc square is not a matter of belief, is not a matter of somebody says I have to just accept. It is a representation of the reality in a very particular way. That energy and mass, they're convertible. Mass can be converted into energy, energy can be converted into mass. So that's what that particular equation says. E is equal to mc square. Likewise, each of the Bhagavad Gita shloka, in a very deeper sense, is a mantra. So now what is a mantra? Mantra means mananat trayate iti mantraha. Mananat trayate iti mantraha. Trayate means protection. Mananat, that when which is uttered, that when which is contemplated, protects you. So how does it work? First of all, like Padmaji said, at a pronunciation level, it is like, for example, you take a laser and using proper application of laser, you can cut various parts of body, you can cut various things in the world, right? You all know, there's a laser cataract surgery. So through the laser cataract surgery, essentially, very minute and subtle operation can be done for removing the layer that stops many from seeing, right? So like that, you can apply light. What is laser? Nothing but light. Light is there. See, right now also light is there, but it is not bringing about that transformation. Whereas when it becomes laser, the same light, when it becomes laser, it can bring about a transformation. So in a similar way, mantra is a laser. Is a laser to bring about various physiological and psychological modifications. So to know that, you have to look at this picture. In one sense, the left-hand picture that you see there, there's a list of Jnanendriyas. Jnanendriyas are nothing but sense organs. Then on the right side, there is a list of Karmendriyas, nothing but organs of action. And then there is a in between, whatever Krishnaji referred as the brain. So from a hardware standpoint, when you talk about a human, this is the hardware of a human. Like a computer has an input, central processing unit, and output. Your keyboard, mouse, they're all input. Then there's something called as a CPU, central processing unit. And there is a, screen is an output. Your music speaker is an output. Printer is an output from a computer, right? So like that, there's an input, processing, and output. Jnanendriyas, brain, and Karmendriyas, output. Now, this hardware, how does it function? Now, when you look at the right-hand picture, the picture which is in the yellow color, you can think of human system as a constitution of three major kind of mechanisms. Or when you look at it purely as a machine, right? What Saranunji said as the jnana, right? That is the information processing part. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to change the slide or no?
No.
Okay.
Everything was frozen, so I just was wondering.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a processing part. So now the processing part has both the hardware, that is the CPU, as well as the software, right? The hardware is the brain, the software is your mind. It is in your mind that you have various kinds of program about right, wrong, do, don't, like how Ishaji was saying, initially the prayer used to be about, because the parents wanted. Or, it usually that is how it begins. It begins as that's what everybody in the family does. I am also just doing that. So there's a certain information that has gone in, certain software that goes in, right? And what that software says, just do it. Now, that software may not be fully elegantly written, because when initially it comes, depending upon how it comes, from who it comes, when it comes, it may be incomplete software, but it is there, right? That is what you call as your culture, isn't it? This is what my parents used to do. This is what I have been told to do. And that's what I'm doing. So how does it trigger? That is the whole information system, which acts through your so-called mind and brain and the whole nervous system. Then once when you have that knowledge and the thought process, how does it translate into action? So that is where, this whole chemical factory idea comes. You have a thought, and that thought gets transmitted through some kind of electrical signals, and chemical reactions change, and that's what you notice. So for example, right now, for a moment, if you think of laddu, your mouth may water if you are fond of laddu, or whatever, let's say your favorite food is coming near your mouth. If you just do that simple experiment, you will start noticing your mouth watering. So there was no actual food, but the very thinking brought saliva to the mouth, right? So there's a chemical change that is associated with every thinking that happens. So the thought brings about a change, and that's what reflects as various chemical changes. So what we many a times experience as anger, there's a thought of anger, but you also notice various kinds of, let's say, your ears become very hot, your shoulders may become tight, your eyes start burning, your fist and other muscles become tight. So how this is happening? Because there is a chemical change happening. By what? By the information that is currently being processed in the so-called mind-brain mechanism, right? And ultimately, this is what translates into your action. And for action, various body parts, right? So for example, let's say the situation is that of an anger, and discussion is becoming very heated, then there may be a action of slapping, right? So for that to happen, various kinds of mechanisms, mechanical parts, right? Your joints here and various kinds of muscles, blood has to flow. So when you look at it, all of this is happening. How it is happening? Starting from the software to the hardware, where you can see the output, right? So a shloka or a mantra, mananat trayate, protects you. Okay, so what is the protection needed? Protection is needed in various ways, in various levels. At a very starting level, all of us want to feel physically safe. All of us want to psychologically feel safe. Once when these so-called physical and psychological needs are taken care of. The so-called food, shelter, hunger, so the basic needs are taken care of. Some higher level needs come in, like how Krishnaji said, I want to know what is the purpose. So all these are fundamental needs that any one of us have. All of us, while doing all this, we also want to feel very happy, healthy, peaceful, right? So how does that happen? So when you look at this whole mechanism, what is at the root of any of the action happening? If the action is happening at the mechanical layer, at the bottom layer in this picture, what is driving that? It is at the top, the information, the CPU or the processing, isn't it? And what is the processing that is happening? Based on the programming, based on the knowledge and the conditioning that is in the mind. So, therefore, the fundamental unit that has to be modified, the fundamental thing in the human system that has to be corrected is not the eyes or the lungs or the brain or the legs, right? Because they work based on the signal that they receive from the mind. The chemical system, none of us really know how to control the chemical system. But you can bring about the right kind of chemistry by right kind of thinking. So therefore, what is at the root of all of this? At the root of this entire human mechanism to work properly, it's the information system, isn't it? So it is like when you modify the information system, the rest of the system, which is already naturally designed to work properly, will naturally work properly. In other words, health is actually, for example, is natural. See, most of us, if you are asked, define health, most of us may tend to think of health as no diseases. I don't want any diseases. Is the situation of health. But actually, that is not health. Why do you have to define health by a negative attribute of no disease? Disease is a manifestation of when you're deviating from natural system. Please understand. Disease is not natural. Health is natural. Much like silence is natural. Disturbance is created. Disease is created. Health is natural. So likewise, we have to learn what is at the root of everything in life. I want peace. Okay, how do you create peace? How do you get peace? What is peace? So you have to be able to, therefore, first of all, have clarity about that, isn't it? So a mantra, mananat trayate, it protects you. How does it protect you? At a beginning level, when you don't even know, if let's say Amma came and showed some food in front of your eyes, your body prepared, salivated, you were ready. You didn't know what it is, right? But it happened, right? One day you would come drenched in rain and you would start sneezing, and Amma would say, oh, don't worry, and she would rub some wicks and put warm cloth, and you will feel better. You didn't know why it happened, but it happened, right? So initially, it is essentially by right pronunciation, right kind of changes start happening. Then as the child starts growing, the child will naturally ask, okay, so how did it work? How is it working? So then the manana takes another meaning, which is like what we are doing here, the contemplation. Having the right understanding. And with the right understanding, now when the same thing is used, it becomes even more powerful. Without understanding, if I simply keep applying Vicks, it may or may not help. But with the right understanding, with the right clarity, then when I apply, it brings about the right change. So now it becomes even more sharp laser, right? So in that sense, prayer has all these layers. At a beginning stage, there is a seeking. There is a seeker, and there is something higher that is capable of granting. So depending upon what I'm seeking, see, we always pray. If you look at life, prayer is not just in the form of, the shloka that we chant. Amma, I want food. That's in a way prayer. Though we may not acknowledge it, or the husband, the husband yells at the wife, hey, where is my cloth? But if you really look at it, it's a prayer. I don't know how to find it. Can you please help me? Because husband is always the last animal. In the jungle called home, the one animal which is always last, which doesn't know where it is going, what things are, is the husband animal. So he's always, therefore, floundering around, right? Where? So it's a prayer. So we know how to pray. But like how Padmaji said, when it is done with the right feeling, then the one who is giving, will also give with lot of love, If instead of yelling at the wife or the husband, if you simply convert it into a little bit of tenderness and you have a request, then that whole thing, hey, I am not able to find, can you please help me? I'm really lost. Somehow, there is a magical quality in that tenderness, in that, okay, right now I don't really know. It's supposed to be my home, but I don't know where it is. But there is somebody who knows better. So let me ask. I lose nothing. And the harmony of the situation is also so much nicer. The wife may come and, daunt you. So she may say, Ayyo, every time you keep forgetting. You simply laugh at it and accept. So it's a harmonious way of praying, isn't it? So with a little love and kindness, that very act of prayer now becomes a wonderful way of coexistence. So like that, initially, it's a very simple, there is somebody, I don't know where that fellow is, God, and he grants. That's okay. There is a sense of, okay, there is something higher, which is guiding and shaping my life. Where it is, what it is, I may not have thought about it, but it is there and its presence is felt. So that is how the connection happens. So then it starts protecting me, because it's only through that kind of a prayer that right kind of information can come in and get deeply integrated into my life. Like how Ishaji said, is it okay to leave somebody, go figure out? It is possible, quite possible. There's nothing wrong in it. However, it's also okay to engage in a meaningful way, engage in a constructive way. And as you keep engaging, questions naturally arise. Then, like how, what a wonderful story that Ishaji mentioned. They say actually, in one sense, as parents, many a times we feel we have to teach children. But when you fundamentally look at it, it is through the children that, I evolve. They're there as my guide in 100 different ways, in so many little ways. The very fabric of life is love and kindness, is something that you deeply feel, when you hold your child, when you have the feeling of tenderness towards somebody called as a child. So like that, they are nothing but the very teacher, guru, the one who removes the ignorance. And that guru comes in many different forms in our life. And initially that guru happens to be outside. And when that guru happens to be outside, I have to pray to that guru. Because I and the guru are separate. That's why we say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we see that guru in other forms. And when the right guru, when the Sadguru comes, Sadguru helps you to see that guru is nothing but your own inner divine awareness. Guru is within you. So seeking now comes a full circle. The seeker and what is he seeking, both are not separate. Then it's another wonderful path of life. So like that, a prayer, a mantra, mananat trayate iti mantraha, that which protects at various levels. Any questions or anything to add?
The one thing, yeah, I wanted to say, I think, after a long time, people are open to receiving questions, which I felt. Because as a child, what I felt is like anything you ask questions to our parents or to elders, they don't have time or they don't have knowledge of why they were doing it. So, a simple thing like, I still remember like when I was very small, my dad had bought a lotus to keep in front of Ganesha. He had bought one. Okay. So usually he will not keep anything single fruit. He'll keep 4 fruits, 2 fruits, even numbers like that. But lotus, he had bought one. And I asked him, why did you buy one? Why not 2? Because you're buying everything double. So he didn't have an answer, and he was wild. He was very aggressive because I think he was angry that he doesn't know the answer or he doesn't have the time to answer, or maybe there is no reason also. He can just say that I could only get one. That not answering thing has pushed. I believe that we need rituals so that we protect something which is sacred. Whether it's Dharma or Bhagavad Gita or some preach, the shloka, something to protect, we found rituals. But so much we went behind rituals, we forgot the real meaning of why we were doing it. We started doing it just to please. That's one thing which is nice. When it said no questions are asked, even Krishna is answering, but our ancestors didn't answer. It's lack of knowledge or whatever. It's nice that we as a grown-ups are also, we are able to attend such classes, and we are able to communicate to our children so that they can pass on. If you just make them keep standing in queues and doing puja, it will stop.
Excellent, Ishaji. Sadguru Jaggi Vasudevji, he says, I don't know is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
That's why a child learns tremendously. Because a child doesn't have an answer, but the child has only questions. Why is that? What is that? How is that? So, like I said, a child is showing me how to operate in the world. So there is a beautiful story that is coming to mind, Ishaji. There apparently was an ashram, and there was a teacher, and he used to teach meditation. And he had a pet cat. And during the meditation time, it would come and disturb. So he decided, okay, what to do. So just before the meditation session starts, he would tie the cat to a pole. He would keep some milk, and that cat would be happy, and they also can do the meditation. So this used to go on. Now in that ashram, after many, many years, he passed away. The next Shishya came. And now apparently the ritual is that if you have to meditate, you have to find a cat, tie it to a pole, give milk, then only you can meditate.
True, sir. In so many ways, this is true. If I connect it to every day, what we do, we are just doing.
So
Even that pradashna, what we do around the temple, somebody told us no doing 2 and all, do 3 or do 1 and come, and we are all going round. So recently my son asked me, I don't know, not recently, someday I remember answering him saying, see, all our temple, one, it is on hilltop, one, when you do the trek, you are naturally happy. They say when you climb up, that body process in such a way that you are physically walking, it is good for your health, and you go. And many people don't have time to walk, so they said they started having a ritual, walk 3 times around the temple.
Yeah, it's
so that you
lot of exercise happens there. You
that's
lie down and then right, you
like this cat story only. Now, that what do you call that? They will hold that ears and they'll do sit-ups for Ganesh. Yeah. Now, my dad made him do in front of Ganesha recently. So I said, see, sit-ups is one way good, and holding your ear, you have that nadi points, which is good for you.
Yes.
Do all this. I have
there is deep meaning. I'm sure,
there is deep. But immediately he'll ask, I'll usually say, okay, this is what I understood as, but let me go do my Google research and come back to you. So yeah, many things we are following that cat's work on.
excellent. Yeah. So it's okay. Unfortunately, we may or may not know, due to whatever historical reasons, this is where we are. So when I don't know, opens a tremendous possibility for us to explore together.
Yeah.
So the very basis of our satsanga, therefore, is where each one shares. It is not as a test of knowledge. It is there is a wonderful way of looking at the same thing from that lens. Today, how each one has shared about prayer. We are not talking different subject, but each one must have given us a certain lens, certain viewpoint of looking at it. So it's very important that this is the very basis of the Sahana Bhavatu shloka. The shloka is actually a Upanishad shloka, and it is said between a teacher and a student, and they both are saying, look, we are now going to engage in a very deep discussion, and I may have certain idea, you may have certain idea, and there may be lack of synchronization of this idea. However, let that lack of synchronization of different ideas, let it not cause animosity between us. You and I, let us together search for that answer. You and I, let us find that treasure called truth. Is the fundamental feeling of that Sahana Bhavatu. You and
very
I,
general. You can apply it to so many at home, at work. You can apply everywhere.
Where is that you're working, where you don't have to work with another being, whether it's people or animals or plants, you have to always work. And only when we somehow figure out how to harmoniously work together, it becomes a nice experience. Great. So is there any other question or any other point anybody wants to add?
No, sir.
So one last thing,
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
it's not to add here, sir. As I told you, I had put few shlokas which I know, like, and their meanings, and just made a PDF and had taken a printout to give it to and given it to my child. So I was thinking that, I'll do this, add more shlokas, the simple ones which we can recite anytime, which, anybody can have meaning,
Yeah.
easily understandable, easily recitable at any time. So, and make it into a book and circulate, like, we have that thing, not to go and give kids, or to when we go to each other's house taking fruits. I thought we'll make something like this and give.
Absolutely. Excellent idea.
I have the PDF, sir. I have about, I think, 30-40 pages. Can I share it? I don't know if I can share it to you or the group. If you can see if I've written correctly it, or if you have
Please,
something
Ishaji.
to add to that, please.
Please share it. We all can review and then see, if there's anything to be added.
Like nice also, I don't know which pictures. The pictures which you put for every explanation is so well, I can't even think what pictures I wanted to add. Then I didn't want to add something really silly to it, so I didn't put any pictures. So anything to make it, nice for both adults and children together.
Absolutely. Especially children love pictures. So
Yeah.
Definitely. An excellent idea, Ishaji.
Thank you, sir.
Great. So, Sarananji, I'll stop the sharing and close the recording. Yes. Hari Om.